Well, I heard that Michael Jackson, the late great Michael Jackson, uh, tried to buy Marvel, and through the various sources, it was true that Michael Jackson indeed lobbied to buy Marvel when Marvel was in a lump, when Marvel was almost in bankruptcy. Michael Jackson, being a big fan of Marvel Comics, decided that he wanted to buy it and build an empire similar to what Disney World has done with Marvel. Now, mind you, Disney World and Michael Jackson had a strong relationship. Disney carried Michael Jackson's first movie, Captain EO. There was a ride for that particular movie. So they had a long-term relationship. And lo and behold, the moment that Michael Jackson decides to buy Marvel, or at least partner with Stan Lee, then all of a sudden these allegations come out against Michael Jackson. Kind of similar to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, who at that time was the richest entertainer in the world, second to Michael Jackson, decided that he wanted to buy NBC, and then all of a sudden, all these accusations started to come out. It's mighty funny when a black man decides to take some power, a real chunk of power in media or whatever. They always come up with some lame excuse to stop him from obtaining that power. Here's Michael Jackson on Piers Morgan talking about him buying Marvel. Fair use. Fair use. So on this panel is Michael Jackson, I believe his attorney, his dad, Joe Jackson, and here's Piers.
One or two, I think it was. Let's listen to this.
We could easily go into Universal and buy. We would own Jaws, E.T., Close Encounters, all the classics from Universal. Own all of that stuff. And that would allow us to do.
See, mind you, and this is crazy, Disney World and Universal Studios are almost right next to each other in Orlando, Florida. I've been to both many times. Marvel is actually in Disney World right now. So it makes me think that Disney World did not want Michael to have this ability to have a theme park and rival with them. Now, mind you, again, I told you Michael Jackson's big fan of Walt Disney. Always been a fan of Walt Disney. He's a Disney staple. I believe he owned some stock in Disney at one time. But soon as he decided that he wanted to buy Universal and Marvel Comics, see, get this, that would allow us to do a let me go back and play this. This is good stuff.
One or two, I think it was. Let's listen to this.
We could easily go into Universal and buy. We would own Jaws, E.T.
We should easily go into Universal and buy the catalog. See, Michael Jackson learned something from Paul McCartney. Where the real money lies. Do it lie in you continuing to perform until you're old in age, and then you go to Las Vegas and perform until you freaking die like Elvis did? Or is it in buying catalogs, owning your own discography, owning your own masters? See, Michael Jackson was going beyond masters. He was going into book deals, movie deals, TV shows, all that. Michael had a brilliant business mind. He said we could easily go into Universal and buy the catalog. So he believed he had that kind of relationship with Universal. Yo, I can go in there and we could easily go in there and buy the catalog. Why? Why he could say that? Because all it takes is money. We would own Jaws, E.T., Close Encounter, all the classics from Universal, and own all that stuff. Now listen to the brilliancy of Michael Jackson.
Close Encounters, all the classics from Universal. Own all of that stuff. that will allow us to do a universal, a channel. Part of the Marvel channel can be not only the Marvel characters, but Marvel.
He wanted to start the Marvel channel with all the Marvel characters. Guess what we got now? We have a Marvel channel. Well, it's almost channel. It's Disney Plus.
Films like the catalog. We could do anything we want, from restaurants to retail, theme parks.
See, that's why he messed up. You can't say you're going to do a theme park, Michael Jackson, with Universal. Now, what gets me is now all these things that Michael Jackson talked about doing is actually in manifestation. There is a Universal Studio with all these themes there. Universal Studios started off with a lot of Marvel stuff there. I remember when I went down there with my friend Kim, we went out there and I got on the Incredible Hulk. They had so many Marvel themes there at Universal Studio. But now since Disney bought Marvel from Stan Lee, I guess Universal had to shut that stuff down. And now Disney have it. Now, mind you again, Michael Jackson had a close, loving, at that time, warm, cozy relationship with Disney World. He was a spokesperson for Disney World. They were proud to have him as a face for Disney World. You will see Michael and Mickey Mouse and hang out Minnie Mouse. I remember one of my favorite moments, I think it was Disney's 25th anniversary. Michael's song, Can You Wish Upon a Star at the castle at Disney World and Disneyland. But this was at Disney World. Michael talking about we could easily go in there and buy that stuff from Universal. See, at that time, Universal was going in bankruptcy. Marvel Comics was going in bankruptcy. And Michael had the funds to get them out the bankruptcy. But it ain't going to be free. I need to either be partner or I'd be majority shareholder. And I own these catalogs. See, Paul McCartney turned Michael on to catalogs. Said, I'm going to buy the Beatles. I want to buy the Beatles catalog. But I want you to go in with me. I guess he wanted to go in with him. Mike went and bought. That's a good idea, Great idea, Paul. I'll think about it. Next thing you know, Michael done bought the whole catalog called Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney was pissed. Let's get back into this.
Now, you actually got the financing in place, I believe, for this deal. Then came the scandal court cases, and it all got put on the back burner.
So you actually came up with the money for this deal. Then the scandals showed up. So Bill Cosby actually had the money to buy NBC Universal. And then all of a sudden the scandals come. Now we can go on and on with the different people who, once they got to a certain level, scandals came. And I ain't going to talk about some of the old artists back in the day. These scandals all of a sudden come up. As soon as you start getting some power, black man, a scandal will come out. Heck, I see it happen to presidents, black and non-black. A scandal will come up.
Disney ended up buying Marvel and doing exactly what Michael had predicted and making a fortune at it. Tell me about this.
That was the second part of his life. He did want to do this, and he knew exactly any single detail what he wants to do. And he was absolutely right. Because he was saying, so the music career, I cannot do more than that what I did. That's it. And I have the Beatles catalog on one side. If I buy this Marvel catalog, he has a second part, a big part in his life. He would be the richest person in the world.
Yeah, he understood the power of owning rights to things.
Right.
Did you hear that? Michael already owned the Beatles catalog. He ended up using the Beatles catalog to take a high stake in Sony ATV, which means he's pretty much majority shareholder of just about every freaking song, every artist that came out of that. Artists even to this day, like Eminem and Mariah Carey and all these people, their songs were in those catalogs on the ATV, Sony ATV. And Mike was making a fortune. People say, Michael, how Michael can blow all that money and Michael be in debt? Michael being in debt that's crazy. You tell me a genius mind like this don't have a will? A genius mind like this don't know how to invest and make gains on those investments? A man think like this, but they want you to think he was a nutso, he didn't have no will or none of that kind of crap. Get out of here with this stuff. Black men try to get some power, they'll find some way to stop them.
He realized the power of publishing rights, which
Yeah.
is the same in music and movies and television and all of it. Let me play you one last clip of Michael talking, which is very prophetic, given what we've just been discussing.
We don't want to die knowing that we didn't accomplish our goals. I want to die knowing I did it. I did everything I wanted to do, and I did it my way. You know, that's it. We changed the world.
What would you like Michael's legacy to be?
I like
Let's read this again. It said, Michael said, we don't want to die knowing that we didn't accomplish our goals. See, Dr. Miles Monroe, famous preacher out in the Bahamas, who died in a plane crash because all of a sudden he gained some power. He was talking about running for office in the Bahamas, and all of a sudden he died in a plane crash. Very powerful, influential man in the Bahamas. Well, in one of his books, Understanding Our Potential, he said you gotta do whatever you can to die empty, because the greatest reservoirs, the greatest wealthiest places are the graveyards, where untapped talents and visions and goals, books, songs, inventions die. It never got released where the world can see. And Michael is echoing this, saying we don't want to die knowing that we didn't accomplish our goals. I want to die knowing I did everything I wanted to do. That's how you want to go out. That's how I want to go out. I want to die knowing I did everything I wanted to do myself. I write songs, so I want to make sure I put these things. I'm not trying to cut no record. I ain't gonna say I don't care, but I'm not doing it for the record deal. I'm not doing it for a whole bunch of money. I take the record deal. I take the money. I'll take the artists who would love to sing my songs and get famous and get rich, and I get rich too because I wrote the songs. Like Rod Turpentine did on Michael Jackson. He got rich off that Thriller album. The Lady of My Life was not supposed to be his song. You know, that song was supposed to go to I forgot. Anyway, that's another story I'll tell. I did it my way. You know, we changed the world. That was Michael Jackson.
What would you like Michael's legacy to be?
I like his legacy to be that's what he wanted to be. Want everybody to care about him and to love him and keep doing the things that what he wanted to do. And he wanted to make people happy all over the world. You see, Piers, Michael's situation, if the world was like Michael, there would never be any wars. Everybody would get along. And that's the type of kid he was.
It really ticks me off when a person gained power, they come up with some scandal. Martin Luther King was having sex with white girls. Reverend Abernathy, before he died. Now, I don't know about R. Kelly's situation, but R. Kelly was about to make some moves too, because R. Kelly was messing with some girls that liked to be that's into that S&M bondage type stuff. And as long as they got a bag, it was all right. Bill Cosby make the move to buy NBC, become one of the most powerful men in the world, second to Bob Johnson, black man in entertainment. And all these allegations come out on him. Here you go, Michael Jackson, plotting, strategizing. Believe me, when Michael plotting, strategized, he's making moves to do it. He ain't just talking trash or crap. He's intentional when he say he's going to do something. I'm going to buy Sony. I'm going to buy the Beatles catalog. I want to buy Marvel. Well, There's plenty of pictures with Michael Jackson and Stan Lee together. They was pretty close. Michael Jackson had a great relationship with Walt Disney World, and he had a relationship with Universal Studios. Universal Studios helped produce the short film Captain EO. So I stand corrected. It was not Universal Studio that did Captain EO. It was actually directed. Now this is the power weight that Michael Jackson held. He got Francis Ford Coppola, the Godfather dude, to produce a space age movie and collaborate with George Lucas. George Lucas, Rusty Lemonade, Francis Coppola to produce Captain EO. It was produced by Lucasfilms and the Walt Disney Company. So George Lucas and Walt Disney always had a long-term relationship together. So that's why it was so easy for him to come on the Disney team and Disney buy the right to Lucasfilms. Lucasfilm, Walt Disney, 3DD Productions, and distributed by Buena Vista Pictures, which is a Walt Disney company. It's only a 17-minute movie. 17 minutes. I remember going to the movie when I was a teenager, when we had grad night. Not grad night, but when my band, high school band, opened up for Epcot. So we got a chance because this was featured at Epcot. In that one movie, the budget was $23 million. So you're talking about money for a 17-minute movie. Yet this movie was featured at both Disney Worlds. A feature at both Disney World. Now you can go online and watch the movie. It's pretty cool, you know, Michael Jackson trying to get his Star Wars thing going and try to merge film and music videos and singing together. It's basically a musical movie. But yeah, so I stand corrected. This was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, Michael Jackson. Worked with Disney and Lucasfilm and Francis Ford Coppola to produce Captain EO. Now back to our regular scheduled program. So when you make a bold statement like that and people know you got the money to back it up, that brings fear to people. That's why a lot of people don't want black people, native black people, or foundational black people to have reparations because they fear that we may take over. Because we could take a mountain and make a molehill and make it out of a mountain. We never had the bootstraps, or they said pull yourself up by the bootstraps. We never had the bootstraps. We had to take, we tapped in some to our native heritage, and we'll take whatever we can and make shoes out of them. We're very resilient, creative people. And we really, really made our mark on this earth, this country that cannot be erased. Michael Jackson was one of them, one of many. Michael Jackson was planning on buying Marvel Comics. Imagine what would have happened if Michael accomplished that goal. Michael would have invested in more projects and bought more. He probably would have bought DC. He probably would have started to merge the DC world and the Marvel world together. Right now, DC belongs to Warner Brothers. Marvel belongs to Disney. Had Michael got his hand on it, he could have bought both of them and merged them. We could have seen a cross between the Marvel Universe and the DC Universe. That's the mindset of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, the greatest performer of all times, knew that his time was up when it came to performing. That's why he had that This Is It tour. He knew he was getting up in age and he can't keep doing that. So he started making investment plans, ways of making money that's going to work, whether he's doing all the work or not. Well, I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show. Again, I'm just testing the new setup. Been working on it, and This is going to be the Sunday night live setup. Weekday setup is going to be a little bit different, but I'm loving it. I'm back to my old self, you know, and my logo in the back over here. And yeah, good morning and good night.